Hello everybody, Oh My COD here, and today I'm bringing you a COD4 strategies refresher video. In the background, you're just going to see a gameplay of me going 42-8 on District, so pretty good gameplay here, just something to throw in the background while I'm talking to you guys about Call of Duty 4. Anyway, we're going to start off here first with the map movement. In Call of Duty 4, and in any Call of Duty really, it's very important to stay on the outsides of the map. What this allows you to do, it allows you to flank around the enemies, and it allows no enemies to end up behind you unless you just get really unlucky with a spawn or something like that. But generally, if you stay on the outside, you'll be able to see the enemies on the inside, kill them, and then just keep flanking around, and you'll eventually keep hitting their new spawns, which is some I've realized when I've been sticking to the outsides. And if you keep doing that, you'll go on these high kill streaks, which you will see in this gameplay as well. I don't remember what the final total was, but it was a really high kill streak that I went on. So yeah, just make sure to stay to the outsides and avoid going inside as much as you can. I mean, if you just see an opportunity to go inside really quick, maybe get a couple kills and jump right back to the outside, go ahead. But in general, just stay to the outside, okay guys? Alright, second thing here I'm going to talk about is whenever you're going into a room or just going into a really busy area, it's important that you always aim where those enemies might be. So you know the highest traffic areas on every map. You know when you're about to reach them, and you know that you're going to see some enemies probably when you go in there. So if that's the case, what you need to do is have your crosshairs already aimed where you think those enemies may be. What this allows you to do is if your crosshairs are already in that area, you barely have to adjust them, and you can just like laser them. You can laser the enemy and kill them faster than they can even think about killing you. So obviously that's self-explanatory why that helps you, but yeah, it's just a way to improve your gunfights and help you win more of those. And in Call of Duty 4, it's all about the gunfights. There's no kill streaks. There's no like unfair advantages. Nothing like that. So the gunfights are the only thing that matters. So if you have your crosshairs already aimed and ready to shoot, you will do very well. And to piggyback off that last point, also when you're going into these corners or busy areas, it's important that you're walking. Like, it's okay if you're sprinting around the outside where you know there's no enemies, like, or you're probably not going to see anybody, or you're just trying to flank around or whatever. But when you go into these busy areas, you need to be walking so that you don't have to wait that extra second to stop before you can either aim down sight or just start hip firing, because that is very important in gunfights. I can't tell you how many gunfights I've lost because I ran into a room and like I had to stop before I could start shooting, and that quick second or milliseconds or whatever it may be can be the difference between a kill or a death. Alright, so also here we're going to talk about burst firing. I always give this advice, but I never take it. It's kind of funny. But I'm trying to work on this. It's really hard because I just like to shoot the gun automatic. I don't like to have to burst it, but it's very important in COD 4 because the guns have so much recoil. You know, especially at long ranges, it's hard to kill them if you just hold down the trigger. So what you may have to do is just shoot 2 or 3 bullets at a time to try to kill the enemy, or what I've learned sometimes is you even have to go single fire almost. Because the guns are pretty powerful in this game, they just have so much recoil and kick that you really have to go burst fire at those long ranges, especially with submachine guns like the MP5. That thing you cannot kill at long ranges without burst firing, so take that into consideration, guys. Always burst fire if you seem to not be able to kill enemies at long ranges. It will help you. And also, this is not just for search and destroy, this next tip, it's just for any game mode in general. Try to use a silencer if you can. I know there are some guns where it's just horrible on, like the M16. Does the M16 come with silencer? I can't remember. But anyway, like, I know the M4 carbine does. I don't like putting silencer on the M4 carbine. It just makes it kind of weird. But most other guns, like, I can put silencer on and it's still effective. Like the MP5, I do like silencer on that gun. And the Mini Uzi, I do like silencer on that gun. You know, it's just some guns you can put it on it and it'll still be effective. And if you can, I would go ahead and do that, because what it's going to allow you to do is you're not going to pop up on the map, obviously, and that point cannot go understated. It's so important that you stay off the mini-map. It's not even funny. Like, I can't tell you how many times in COD 4 where I have looked up at the mini-map and saw an orange dot and just, like, knew exactly where they were. Like, I saw the building they were in, and I was like, I can guarantee you I know exactly where they are. And also, in general, like, in COD 4, the silencer is really effective as well, because you can't even, like, hear where it's coming from. Like, a lot of times in other games, like, the silencer is still really loud, and you can hear it and be like, oh yeah, they're over here in this area. But in Call of Duty 4, I have no idea. Like, they could be to my left, my right, in front of me. I'd really have no idea. They could be 10 yards in front of me. They could be 100 yards behind me. It's hard to tell. So silencer is very effective, and it'll keep you out of those tough gunfights, and it'll give you the advantage and the upper hand. Also, guys, if you remember from the Call of Duty 4 campaign, it was right at the beginning where you're meeting Captain Price and Gaz and all those people. Switching to your secondary is always faster than reloading. You probably remember that quote, like, right as I said that. But it's so important in this game because you really don't switch weapons very fast. You don't reload very fast, I apologize. But you do switch to your pistol extremely quick. So if you find yourself about to have to reload and the enemy is about to take you out, you might want to switch to that pistol really quick and just start spraying as fast as you can, because unless you have sleight of hand on and you happen to drop shot or just get really lucky that the enemy also has to reload or just chokes essentially, you're going to die if you don't switch to your secondary, because it takes probably about half a second to switch to your pistol at most. I would not even say a second to switch, but it takes about 3 or 4 probably to reload and for him to like finish reloading, because when you have to reload the whole clip, he does like a little extra animation at the end. You guys know what I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure. So that extra like 3 or 4 seconds, like compared to the half second that it takes to switch to your secondary, is very, very, very critical. You will probably die. I can't tell how many times I've like sprayed down an enemy and been 1 bullet away from killing him and tried to reload, and that ended up being the reason why I died. So always try to switch to your pistol instead of reloading. It's very, very, very great advice in Call of Duty 4. And the last thing I'm going to say here is really just a recommendation, but it's a really strong recommendation from me. I would try to use it, and that thing is Steady Aim. Steady Aim is a 3rd perk in this game, so you couldn't use Martyrdom or Deep Impact or Dead Silence or whatever, but that's okay because Steady Aim is much more effective than all those perks. What it essentially does is make your crosshairs even smaller, so when that happens, it makes just winning all those gunfights a lot quicker. And as we talked about before, aiming towards the enemies where they might be is very important, and Steady Aim will just enhance that ability. So all of these points, guys, like I'll go over them really quick again. Just map movement, stay around the outsides, aim where your enemies may come from, walk around corners or busy areas, burst fire at long ranges especially, use a silencer if you can, switching to secondaries instead of reloading, and using the perk Steady Aim. All of these points together will make you a much better Call of Duty 4 player, and I promise you, you will find yourselves having much more good gameplays than bad. Like this is essentially the reason why I just had this gameplay right here going 42-8. If I didn't follow any of these tips, I probably would have did horrible, and I'm sure the people that I was killing weren't following these tips. So make sure that you follow these guys, and if you have any other tips or advice or strategies, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd be really interested to see what you guys have to say about your Call of Duty 4 experiences or your strategies or whatever. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys looking at the video today. Can't wait for Call of Duty 4 Remastered. Please give a like rating if you would love to, and please subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.